Hello, BookTube. I have a tag for you today. It's the Bookish Bookin book tag. I was tagged by Jess at RebelReads, who apparently did not comb through my 150 videos to see that I had already done it. But it doesn't matter, because it's one of those tags where, the answers could change on any given day. So this is the son of the Bookish Bookin book tag. And I thought we'd get right to it. Question number one. What is a well-loved book you hated? Right now, the first answer to this question would be Girl on a Train, which became a bestseller, and he's making the author a potload of money, and good for the author, but the book was stupid. Just absolutely stupid. And while we're on the subject, another thing that's stupid about it is the title. I wholeheartedly agree with the Twitter meme that was going around calling for a 10 to 20 year moratorium on the use of girl in any book title. Question number two. What is a guilty pleasure book? Well, not so much a guilty pleasure, but more, no, for me, no pleasures are guilty. But there are books, there's a handful of books where the rereading of them I've done it so many times that when I do it again, I start to think, don't you have, other things you could be reading? And for today, the example I have in mind is Rumpole by John Mortimer. His story is about a battered Old Bailey hat who works at number 3 Equity Court and ends every day in Pomeroy's wine bar with a glass of Chateau Thames and Bank. I just love the stories, but there aren't any more new ones, and I've read them all so many times that I do occasionally question whether or not it's worth my time to do. I do it anyway, though. Question number 3. Have you ever spoiled a book for somebody? My answer is the same as last time. I try not to, but I don't have the horror of it that most people do. I learned how to love books with Homer and the Greek tragedians, where the whole point is that you know the ending, where the variations on a known story are where the author shows his talent. But still, I know sensibilities have changed, so I try not to. I try to just stay mum. Question number 4. What book made you ugly cry? I'm afraid my answer is the same as last time. None. I don't ugly cry over books. Sometimes get choked up, but that's about it. Question number 5. What is your latest DNF? I was thinking about this. I was realizing how pompous my earlier answers to this kinds of question were, but I would always say, well, I don't DNF things. I read very fast, and I do nothing else but read and take care of my dogs. So I try not to, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that's a hogwash. Of course, I DNF books all the time. I have to, or I'd be up my eyeballs in them. If I get a book that has no claims on me whatsoever, I don't know the publicist, I don't care about the subject matter, I'm not commissioned to review it, didn't request it. If it just comes to me cold, and I don't like the first 30 or 40 or 50 pages, then I won't finish it. The latest example of that is a book called Ashes in Fiery Weather by, I'm afraid to say, Kathleen Donahue, where just first 45 pages, I saw nothing that induced me to want to keep reading, so I stopped. Question number 6. What book have you read due to controversy? There aren't any. I will read a book whether it's controversial or not, but I don't read books because of controversy, whether it's, American Psycho or Ghost Set of Watchmen or anything like that. So not the motivating factor. Question number 7 and number 8. Question number 7 is, have you read a book where you question the author's sanity? And question number 8 is, what are the most cringeworthy book you've read? And this time around, my answer to both would be connected with, I do a lot of reviewing of self-published religious memoirs. And quite a few of the authors of those books talk just routinely about conversation they had this morning with God, the creator of the universe, this all-powerful, intangible being that is everywhere all at once, who cares whether or not they want to switch toothpaste or what kind of snack they have for lunch. And they just routinely write about talking with him. I don't know if they believe it or not. I don't know if it's maybe a language thing, but if they do, I think a lot of them do, and it makes me wonder and cringe. Question number 9. What book have you read solely due to its cover? None. There are plenty of covers that I like. A good cover, of course, will appeal to me, but I read the book anyway. Question number 10. Name a book you were embarrassed to admit you read. Not embarrassed to admit that I read it. I don't embarrass in that way. But I was a little embarrassed to admit that I liked it. I have it here. So you can see its inimitable cover. It's this. Nope, it's gone. It's the memoir of Barbara Bush, the wife of the first President Bush. There you have her signature white pearls. I just found it enjoyable. She had a really good ghostwriter, had a lot of great stories to tell. I just liked it. I got the impression that she's probably not very pleasant, but I liked it anyway. Question number 11. Name an unknown book you wish more people knew of. I have 3 here. There's Parish by Mildred Savage, a truly great novel about warring tobacco farmers in the early 20th century. There's Under the City of Angels by Jerry Earl Brown, about a down on his luck wreck diver on the West Coast who finds something that's of vital importance to an alien race that comes to Earth. Really good science fiction that just disappeared. And the last one, if you're familiar to those of you who know me in real life, Jeremy Levin's novel Creator. Don't be fooled by the cover, although it's a very good Peter O'Toole movie, a minor Peter O'Toole movie. But it's a fantastic novel about a scientist who's obsessed not only with regrowing his dead wife, but also obsessed with a fictional character that he's created, or that maybe is creating him. Just fascinating, utterly multi-layered book. I loved it. And it's gone, and I wish it weren't. Question number 12. Name a favorite villain. In real life, that would be Nikita Khrushchev, a bumbling oaf of a Soviet premier who was also, incredibly dangerous on the world stage. In fiction, for this time around, it would be Edgar J. Watson, the evil sugarcane farmer from Peter Mathias's trilogy Shadow Country. Just a wonderful portrait of a totally horrible person. Question number 13. Name a book you enjoyed outside your normal reads. This time around, that would be a book I think I've mentioned here before, Between a Rock and a Hard Place, by a floppy-haired young idiot named Aaron Ralston, who went out hiking without a plan, without a support system, in a terrain he knew could be suddenly dangerous. And it was. Caught his arm between a rock and a wall in a canyon. He stared at it for a few days and then cut it off. And ordinarily, stuff like that would infuriate me, but I thought the book was really well done. I loved it. Question number 14. Name tropes you actually enjoy reading. The one that I like the most are the books in which characters don't misuse the word trope. And question number 15. Who inspired you to join BookTube? Well, I think you all already know that, right? It's Chris Rose and Giselle Bradley from... Chris and Giselle Rhodes from the Rhodes blog, who just got married. And that's it. The next is just tags, and I have 3 people in mind. I tag Austin K, I tag Ben Sanders, and I tag Miranda Hayes. And as you've seen from this video, it doesn't matter if you've done it before. Just come up with other answers and do it again. Thank you, BookTube.